Hello everyone, this is Ashutosh Subedi here. You are most welcome on my YouTube channel Ashu Official 2021. I'm trying to become comfortable on camera. That's why I'm recording this video as well. In my previous episode, I talked about my school life, and today in this episode, I'm going to talk about my hostel life. I went to hostel in 2012. As I told you in my previous video, that I got admission in Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, Kanpur Dehat. I got admission in 6th standard in 2012. This was my first experience living in hostel. But I was really excited because this was a very nice school in my district. I was very happy for it. I did not feel bad in the beginning. And second point, there was one of my friends from my village. So we were friends. So that's why in that school also I did not feel bad because I started spending most of the time with him in the beginning. In my school, there are four hostels: Sivalik Junior, Udaygiri Junior, Aravali Junior, and Nilgiri Junior. So my friend was in Sivalik Junior and I was in Nilgiri Junior. But I started spending most of the time with him, so I did not feel lonely, I did not get any problem. But unfortunately, what happened, my friend was not enjoying in that school and he wanted to come back to his house. But I tried to convince him, but he was not convinced. And later, what happened? He got that stone problem. That's why it was really difficult for him to stay there in the hostel. And he came back to his house. And then he did not go back. But I requested my friend to come back so I can live there and I can enjoy my hostel life. But unfortunately, he did not come back. So in the beginning, it was completely normal for me because I used to spend most of the time in his hostel. But later, when he did not come back, I was completely alone. Everybody was a stranger to me because I did not interact with anybody except my friend in the beginning. So now I was really sad and I started feeling lonely. I was not able to focus on my studies. I used to cry. I used to call my parents a lot. I used to share all those things. But at that time, my brother was studying there and he was living in senior hostel. So I went to him and I told all those things. So he used to convince me and he used to console me that this is a good school. So try to adjust and study here so you will get a lot of benefits in future. But I used to cry a lot and it was very difficult for me to understand all those things at that time. Somehow I passed my sixth standard, but I did not get really good result to be honest. I scored good in mathematics, but I was not able to score good in social science, English, or Punjabi. I studied Punjabi as a third language. I was not able to focus on all those things because you need to study if you want to get good marks in all those subjects. But as I was not enjoying in hostel, I was not focusing on my studies at all. Then I came to seventh standard somehow. I made few friends. I started talking to them. So I was feeling normal now. But then also I was not able to focus on my studies in that manner I wanted to. So somehow I passed my seventh standard also, and I was not enjoying that life. And I used to say to my parents, please, I want to come back to my house. I did not want to stay there. In the beginning, I was very excited, but after 1 or 2 years, it was disaster for me. I was not enjoying that hostel life at all. Then somehow sixth, seventh standard I passed as an average student. I became an average student as I was not focusing on my studies. And at eighth standard, even though I used to have a lot of problems at that time. And as I remember, one day I was standing in balcony. So one of my friends came and asked me that what happened. And I told the issue which I was worried about. Then we became friends. We started interacting to each other. He was living in Aravali Junior. So then I started spending most of the time in Aravali house. We used to make project together. We used to complete a course together. So that's what I started enjoying in eighth standard, and I was enjoying a bit. That's what I can say. But unfortunately, what happened after 8th standard, in ninth standard, we have a migration system that some students will go to Mansa district of Punjab and some students will come from Mansa district of Punjab to my school. So my friend got name in that migration list and he went to Punjab. Again, I was little bit worried because he was my friend and I was enjoying. I used to study with him. I used to complete my all tasks. We used to complete all tasks all together. But unfortunately, now he had to go to Punjab. Then it was okay, yes. But in ninth standard, what happened? Again, I got interest in cricket. I started going to ground. I started playing. So I started enjoying my hostel life. But at same time, I was not focusing on my studies at all. In ninth standard, what happened? All those things were in English now. Science and mathematics, but social science was in Hindi, yes, Hindi. But I was not able to understand all those things because now syllabus was completely in English, and I became a very bad student at mathematics and science. I was not able to score good marks. Ninth standard, somehow I managed to get 7.8 out of 10. At that point of time, we had the CGPA system. So I got 7.8 out of 10. I scored good in languages, and that's how I got it. So now in 10th standard, my friend was back, and but at that time, I was completely normal and average student. I was not focusing on my studies. At 10th standard, we started sitting in back benches. And I used to look outside always from my window. I used to focus on trees, birds, nature. And I was a lost kid at that time. Whenever teacher used to teach something, but I used to look outside from my window. So I was not able to score good in 10th standard as well. I scored only 8 out of 10, means CGPA 8 out of 10. So it was around 74 or 75%. I was not really happy from my result, but yes, of course, it was my own mistake, right? But my parents were not really happy. They were expecting a lot more from me.